welcome in, welcome in. Let me know if you're able to hear me. I'm here on my lunch break, and I just decided I wanted to come on and say hello to everyone. Let me know if you're able to hear me. Give me a thumbs up as you come in. Give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you're hearing me. I hope everyone is doing well. I hope you're having an amazing day. Let me know if you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. Hi, Stephanie. How are you? Hello, Dems. How are you? It's so nice to have you today. I'm on my lunch break and I just want to chat. How is everyone doing? What are you doing? I am. Hi, Gail. How are you? Hi, Sharon. How are you? I'm on my lunch break. I did. I responded to you, Stephanie. Check your email. I responded. Hi, Bedazzle. How are you? I hope everyone is doing okay. So I wanted to come on and I wanted to talk to you about my ebook. So I recently made an ebook for beginners, rhinestone, those who want to make templates of their own. So I designed a book. Now this book is a step-by-step guide to get you started on making your own template. So in this book, I showed you how to do a basic template. Thank you so much, Bedazzle. Hi, Picture Me Crafting. I showed you how to make a basic template. Hi, Dancel. Hi, Sharon. Thank you. Thank you for purchasing it. You could leave a review for me if you can, when you get a chance to go through all of it. But I showed you how to make a basic template. And in this book, I showed you step-by-step instructions on how you could achieve a rhinestone template. And I also added pictures. And I think that adding pictures is a good way because lots of persons learn by using visuals. So I thought that those who are visual learners could really appreciate that. Hi, Miss Coleman, how are you? Hi, Ankit. Thank you so much for stopping by. I love you too. You could purchase it on my website. If you go on my last video, you will see in the comment section that there's a pinned comment. You could find it there. I'm doing well. God is faithful. Yes, I am a visual learner too, Stephanie. I believe that I learn by, if you show me, I'll get it. If you tell me, I will not get it. I'm not teaching classes as yet, Donzel. I think it's gonna be in the future, but in the last page of the book, I put my email for persons who want to book any one-to-one sessions with me if they have additional questions. But I believe that the book is sufficient for persons to just sit down and do it by themselves. It's sufficient enough for somebody who is just getting started. I live in the United States. Hi, Martha. How are you? Oh, you're from India. Nice having you. Yes. So if anybody needs any one-to-one help, I put my email. You could reach out to me. I do try to get to persons quickly when it comes on to when they send an email. All right, guys. So if there is anything, any questions you have, I'm here to answer questions. Hi, Unbiased, how are you? It's so nice to see you. I am on my lunch break, but I don't eat so early. Yeah, I'm not an early eater. I usually eat when I go home. Some person says it's not a good habit, but it's okay. It's fine. Yeah, I know. I know, Gail. If I'm teaching yes, I'm teaching later on. I'm on lunch break. Yes, Denzel. So what are you doing? What is everyone working on? I am just putting some files together. I do have a class after this, so I'm working on that. All right, so I want to know what level are you in your rhinestone journey? My shirt? It says, in my self-love era. It's one of my favorite shirts. Let me see if you could see. Maybe you could see it this way. It says, in my self-love era. Oops. Jones fabric. Getting some things that I need to finish up some dresses that I was making for prom. Oh, it's prom season. Yes. It's prom season. I went to Jones. I went to Jones while I was in Maryland visiting my sister. And I don't have Jones close by me here. Thank you, Unbiased. I don't have Jones here close by me here in New York. So I was really surprised at how much fabric they sell at Jones. Beautiful fabric. My sister was like, oh, don't go crazy now. Don't go crazy now. 0? Really, Unbiased? Oh, okay. This scale. Eating chili, trying to stay warm. Oh, warm? Sharon, aren't you in Texas? I'm not sure. Texas is cold? It's cold here in New York. It's bitter cold. Then the breeze is blowing. Thank you so much, Stephanie. The breeze is blowing, so it feels like, oh, 29, yeah. It's really cold. This is not my favorite weather at all. It's the Jamaican in me. 20 or so shirts. Want to learn more about making templates. So Martha, you could go ahead and get my book. Do you have Silhouette Studios Business Edition? Hi, beautiful soul. Really? Maybe I don't know much about the United States, but I thought Texas was warm. like Florida warm. Currently 37 is down here into. Yeah, that was what I was thinking, Miss Gail. I'm almost a big I was almost a beginner too. Beautiful soul. Just takes practice, practice, practice. Oh, okay. Because when I think of Texas and Florida and areas like that, I always think that they're warmer. And I was always say, if I'm moving like somewhere in Georgia or Florida because I don't like the cold at all. Okay, Martha. Wow, that's weird that in Texas it's that cold. I've heard stories of persons saying that in Georgia, because they're not used to the snow, whenever it snows, it's like everything closed down. Like if they even get maybe 2 inches of snow, everything closes down. Okay. Hi, Robin's Creation. How are you? Yes, it seems that way because I always hear that Texas has good weather. But New York, whew, wow, child, it's very cold. These are the days I wish I was still in Jamaica, on a beach somewhere, or if I'm not on a beach somewhere, I wish I was sitting under a tree somewhere or in a tree somewhere. Wow. You couldn't take this beautiful soul, the threat of snow in South Carolina to say. Oh, child. Here in New York, even when it snows, sometimes the teachers will say, oh my God, we can't wait for a snow day. Oh, child. Even when it snows, you still have to come. I don't like the snow either. 9 degrees in Michigan. Whew. That is cold. That is cold. So what I don't like is cleaning the car and then warming up the car and then you have to put on so much layers to stay warm. Where are you, Denzel? What state are you in? Ohio, Ohio. Okay. I know Ohio is cold too. I don't like it at all, all. I was thinking on coming on live maybe tonight. I'm not sure. Tonight is Thursday, and Thursday night is the night that I do most of my preparations for Sabbath. Okay. I do most of my preparations for Sabbath. I usually maybe season chicken or season fish, depending, because you know the sun sets really early on Fridays. Thank you so much. It needs a little touch up though. Maybe a little spruce up at the front. My sister did it when I went to see her. What do I teach? I teach math. I teach high school math. it be okay? You can print it, yes, because it's a PDF file. Sharon, you can print it, and yes, you can laminate it. It can be printed. That's cold, Denzel, really cold. How many pages? I don't remember. Let me check. Let me check how many pages it says. I think it's about 20 something. I think it's around 20 something pages. No. No, how do you teach classes on how to write a book? No, I have not. I don't have a class on how to teach you how to write the book. Oh, okay, Sharon. How is it so far, Sharon? Is it clear enough? Maybe you could give a little review for the others who are thinking of getting it. I tried my best to make it clear. Unbiased, I want to do get back to my sewing. You know, that's what I do initially, right? I was never in rhinestones initially. I've always been a sewer. I want to do some projects with sewing. Yes, one day I'm unbiased. You're doing good. You're doing very good. You're doing very good. Yes. I have another channel that I just teach sewing. Many persons don't know that. Yeah, I have another channel that I just teach persons how to sew jackets, skirts, dresses. But I haven't done it in a while. I need space. That's my thing. Space. It's called Tailor-Made Design Sewing. Tailor-Made Design Sewing. You could check it out. Oh, thank you, Sharon. I tried my best to make it as simple, and I tried to make it step by step, not leaving out anything so that there will be no confusions at all. The reason why I really stopped sewing on that level, yes, Dems. I know Dems started following me from I was sewing, right, Dems? But the reason why I really stopped sewing like that, two reasons, and I'm gonna be honest. One, I gained so much weight, and I sewed for others, but I was mainly sewing for myself, and I was accumulating so much stuff, just making clothes, and they weren't fitting me anymore, one. And then I said, I'm not sewing anything else for myself until I lose the weight. Still trying to lose the weight. Hi, Crafty Corner. Still trying to lose the weight. But another thing was I have no space. When you're sewing, and if you're sewing dresses and skirts, and you need space to do it. And I don't have that space. Yes, that's where you found me first. I don't have that space to really get into it the way that I really want to do it. You need space. That's something that you have to have, because I remember I used to have to cut on the floor and it was really awkward. And now that I have accumulated other things like an embroidery machine and printers and heat presses, and I don't have no space at all. Hi, Creative Notion, how are you? Good afternoon. I have no space, so I'm like, you know what? I'll pick that up when I have space for myself, when I can do me, you know? But sewing is my first love, and that's just the truth. And it's funny how I learned how to sew, because I learned how to sew from I was in Jamaica. I started just sewing, and I think what helped me with sewing is the fact that I love numbers, and it involved math. So I think that really helped me to, because I just started sewing. Let me tell you how I started sewing. So one year when I was going to church in Jamaica, I was leading the youth department, and we were having a youth Sabbath, and we wanted everyone to dress up in the same clothes. And there was one church sister that we had, her name was Melissa, and she could sew very well. And I remember she invited me over to her house to take my measurements. That time I didn't know anything about sewing. To take my measurements and so that she could start sewing my dress. And when I went, she took my measurement, and at that time she was making her patterns on newspaper. If you notice in Jamaica, if you know, in Jamaica we have newspapers. We use them to do things. So she was making her pattern on newspaper, and I sat down there watching her. I was watching her making the pattern for myself, and I noticed how she was using the tape measure, and she was measuring and she was calculating, and I was watching. And when she finished, she made a bodice. And I said, "Is it that easy?" I remember it like it was yesterday, because I said, "Is it that easy to just make a bodice like that?" And that's what you use to actually make a dress. So she said, "Yes, it's really easy." And I said, "Okay." So I took the bodice and I traced it out, and I went home and I remember I cut out the bodice. And at that time, it so happened that I went to stay with a church sister of mine who had a sewing machine. And that's where my curiosity peaked. And I just started sewing. And because she has a sewing machine, she had some knowledge of sewing. And I just started buying fabrics and just start cutting them up and making stuff, making mistakes, seeing that, whoa, this doesn't work. And then I started following Melissa. That was her name. Started following Melissa, and I started learning how to make skirts and stuff like that. And then I migrated here. And my husband made the mistake of buying me a sewing machine. Who, girl? I started really learning. And then I started looking at YouTube and different things, and I started learning more things. And that's how I started. I just have a question. People didn't seem to understand that I had a full-time job that was very stressful, and the sewing was my side hustle. Got very demanding. Yeah. Right, customers. Yeah. Yes, I love to make prom dresses, wedding dresses, whatever. Somebody needs, that's my first love, to making clothes for people. Yeah, that was my first love, sewing. I love to sew. Love to sew. I love the same thing. I really love making pageant dresses for toddlers. Yes. And sewing, you could go in many different directions. You could focus on kids sewing. You could just focus on dresses, flare dresses or circle dresses. It just have a lot of things that you could do. You could do jackets, you could do pants. Yeah. Hi, Nile. Based on challenge. Ooh, a customer said I should sew things versus glue, so I did. Ooh, don't threaten with a good time. Right, that's so true. But I'm going to go back to sewing as soon as I get some space because it's what I love to do. I love to do other things too. I love to make stuff. I think I just love to make stuff. That's the thing. I love to sew. I love rhinestones. I love embroidery. I've fallen in love with embroidery. I'm not sure if it's because it has sewing. And I love sublimation. I just love all of it. I love all of it. Okay, be careful, Dems. Hi, Tianda. How are you? All right, I have how many minutes left for my break to end? 4? You could check out my other channel. I keep telling myself I need to get back to it. I need to get back to it. And how I sew, I do not sew by buying a pattern. I make my own patterns. But one day, everything will be made possible one day. It's called tailor-made design sewing. I haven't really told anybody about it because I haven't really been posting much on it. You're right, unbiased, they're so over it. Once you know the math, you'll know how to sew, trust me. Once you know how to do, not even complicated math, like going deep in algebra, you don't need that. Once you have a basic understanding of dividing, multiplying, and how to make a circle, you can sew. Period. Go ahead. I know, it's been a while. It's been a while. And it's because of all these things that I have acquired. Yeah. Oh, yes. That patterns are not bad. But when you know how to do it, Creative Notion, when you know how to do it and you know what you're doing and you have the understanding of this is what you do, this is how you make a dart, this is how you manipulate the dart to get a princess dart or to get a shoulder dart, it becomes so easy. When you understand how the body is structured, it's so easy. You could sew for anybody at any time. That's true. That's true, beautiful soul. And that's another thing too. If you go to Macy's, right? You go to Macy's and you buy a dress. Sometimes it doesn't fit you the correct way than if you just go ahead, take your own measurement and sew it. Tailor it to your own body. Yeah. And I mean, these dresses, let me not say that, because sometimes you could go and buy a dress from Macy and it costs X amount. And when you're supposed to go and make it yourself, it's the same thing, costs the same amount. I have had times where a dress, it's costly, especially here in New York. Fabric is expensive. Fabric is expensive, especially if you want good quality fabric. You found my sewing channel for you? Oh, okay, Sharon. Yes, it depends on the material you use. All right, guys, I have to run. Um, I have to get back to work. My lunch period is over. My sewing channel is TaylorMade's Design Sewing. Made jumper that fits her best. I took it apart and made a pattern from that and made her. Oh, yes. You could do that too. People do that. People learn in that way also, where you take a dress that fits you well, you pull it apart, you add some seam allowances to it, and you make another dress. Okay? You're welcome, Stephanie. No problem at all. No problem, Danzel. I'm gonna run, okay? Take care. All right, bye-bye. Bye. See you soon.